Right then, this is a walk around video for an absolutely stunning looking Honda CR-V. This is a 2-litre EX manual. It's the facelift model, as you can see here, finished in this lovely twilight blue metallic, and this car is fitted with this gorgeous exterior pack, side steps and rear spoiler. It really is a quite exceptional looking vehicle. It's also in lovely condition as well, by the way. Front of the car, bumper, really clean. Likewise, bottom of the car, very clean, hardly a stone chip of any note on there. And then near side of the car, very smooth in the panel work. See there, you've got these sort of aero style steps on the car. Looks absolutely fantastic. I think the best angle, I always have said on this CR-V's the body kit, is from the back here. It just blends absolutely beautifully. It's subtle, it's not garish. It just looks really lovely. Offside of the car, again, wonderfully clean in the panels. I mean, there will be, there always is, the odd minor mark on the car, but they are minor indeed. I mean, it is in very good condition, and it just happens to be an absolutely gorgeous looking thing. It's coming to the back now, obviously electric tailgate on the EX models. Back of the Hondas are normally very heavily used, the CR-Vs, families, but this one looks almost brand new at the back. It's in beautiful condition. So coming to the back, wide opening rear doors, and again the back of these CR-Vs generally are very heavily used, kids in the back, that kind of thing, so plenty of marks, and it looks like no one's ever actually sat in the back here. I mean, the leatherwork and the interior back here is in extraordinary condition. It's coming to the front, again all been kept really nicely. Finally coming to the driver's door, again all really nicely kept. There is a full set of mats in the car, again they're really good as well. Driver's seat there, exhibits absolutely no wear of any note. So inside the car now, engine's running for this section, so the dash can be seen illuminated, which is in beautiful condition, funnily enough. Absolutely superb. Sat nav working exactly as it should. If I pop the car into reverse there, you get that lovely clear gridded parking camera to complement the parking sensors front and rear. And then up to the main dashboard binnacle, hopefully you can see 58,835 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all whilst the engine's running. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX manual car. This particular vehicle is registered RE16FVG, and mileage at the start of the road test is 58,828 miles. Reason we do these videos is basically so that if anyone's looking at this car or any of our cars online in an advert, they actually get to see the very car advertised in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is because we know to our cost, unfortunately, just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look perfectly good in the description, only to get there and drive it and find it's got an issue which shows up whilst test driving the car. So that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads. This actually forms part of the road test route any prospective buyer would go on. So the reason we do the video on it is hopefully then it'd be representative of what you would feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, engine starts as you'd expect absolutely instantly and settles to completely smooth, even idle. Temperature gauge running as a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on one of these cars, by the way. No warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. The engine is, this 2-litre VTEC is a beautiful piece of engineering. It is so smooth and quiet in its power delivery. Its power delivery's also got a real, across the entire rev range, the engine's happy no matter what revs you put onto it. It's absolutely jewel-like an operation, but it's very flexible. So you can tootle around, it's wonderfully docile, but put your foot down, it responds, but with that lovely crisp 4-cylinder engine sound, which is very subdued, but just so pleasing on the ear. It beggars belief to think that it hasn't actually got 6 cylinders, because the lack of vibration that comes back through these engines is absolutely remarkable for a 4-cylinder engine, and it's why this is probably one of the greatest 2-litre engines ever made. They are also incredibly reliable and long-lasting. Just with regular maintenance, they can take massive mileages, and it's just and obviously having a sort of cam chain kind of helps in that respect. There's no cam belt services to have to worry about or ignore at your peril, because obviously it's got a timing chain. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch absolutely perfect, feels like new, just silky smooth in operation, bite points exactly where it's meant to be, and the gearbox is sensational. It really is. It doesn't matter whether this is an SUV or a sports car, because it's short and throw, it's mechanical, it's precise, the synchromesh when it engages, it just all feels just beautifully engineered. I mean, this is what Honda do so well. People always go on about their engines, but in some ways the gearboxes are the unsung heroes. They are brilliant, and that feels like new to operate. It feels just perfect. Steering of the car tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, and it's a lovely power steering system because it gives you a really nicely weighted feel to the steering. The car feels nice and solid and almost hefty on the road. It's got that feel to it. It doesn't feel overly light or clumsy, and when you go through corners like the one in front here, minimal movement to turn in, it follows precisely, accurately and faithfully. It's really well done and matches the chassis of the car absolutely superbly. The chassis manages to, I mean, Honda know this market so well that CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, and it's so easy to see why, because it flows through corners really well. There's far less pitching and wallowing than you get in most of its competitors, but it still allows for a really comfortable, beautifully damped ride. It's got a feeling of sophistication about it, which is sorely lacking in some of its competitors. What I'm looking for on road test, by the way, is when I hit a bump, it is subdued, but you should hear it. But what you don't want to be hearing is any kind of secondary noises, sort of chatterings or clattering or clonking noises, and there's nothing at all. It's absolutely perfect. Just going to swing around here. Worth pointing out, the car's going to be going for a independent MOT after this video, so all these things are going to be checked anyway, but it's just nice to drive it to feel in the first place. Brakes, just going to give them a bit of a shove, make sure no one's directly behind me, which they aren't. But it's a lovely, powerful brake pedal on the car, brings the car up nice and straight and true, and what I'm looking for on that first application, it should bite well, which it does, but there shouldn't be any kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and there are none at all. It's absolutely spot on. So coming to the interior, first things first, they are brilliantly put together cars. No squeaks, no rattles, nothing like that at all. Lovely place to sit, great visibility in the car. You've got these massive wing mirrors which really add to that feeling that when you're driving along, you know, because most cars at the back have big blind spots for crash protection reasons, but some manufacturers seem fit to give you tiny little wing mirrors. You can't really see much out the back. These, you get this panoramic view, and great on the motorway. You just feel confident driving the car. But the dash is simplicity itself to operate, very well equipped of course. Big screen sat nav working absolutely perfectly. Dual zone climate control system likewise. It pumps out lovely cold air, by the way, because we checked it in a nice warm workshop earlier on. Switch gears, got that wonderful quality of actuation that Honda do so well on their cars. The dash in front is simplicity itself, nice, simple, easy, legible dials to look at and operate. Steering wheel is small in diameter, leather bound, just feels absolutely great in hand. This is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V, because not all CR-Vs are four-wheel drive, albeit there are no buttons to press, because Honda, in their infinite wisdom, and rightly so actually, decided that not to put a permanent four-wheel drive system on the car, because there's absolutely no point. Most people drive these cars, as I am today, in perfectly good conditions where you don't need four-wheel drive wearing away, because the problem with permanent four-wheel drive by definition is it's going the whole time. So frictional losses mean you're putting more mechanical stress through the car, you're definitely using more fuel, and you're certainly going to get through your tyres more quickly. This basically, if the front wheels start to lose grip, it automatically brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and it's seamless in operation. And I've used it on my CR-V towing caravans, and it's absolutely brilliant. The fact that it's not been used a lot of the time also probably gives it its reliability, because we've not so much as put a spanner on one. Absolutely superb. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it is just to show the car in operation, but to feedback on any issues that manifest themselves while driving, nothing at all. It absolutely feels as tight as a drum and as new to drive. It really, really does. As always though, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate, do give us a call.